Get prepped, week 2. So, in the immortal words of Denny Green,
they are who we thought they were.
Marty Cesario, Neil Devlin, what's your reaction after the first week of football games?
We are who they thought they were. It's hard to tell. They only played 1 week. Say what you want about the opponents, the out-of-state things, all that. We didn't learn a whole bunch other than what we already knew coming in, basically, I think.
Yeah, all the top contenders, blowout victories is the way it looks. What I liked is some of the new coaches made impact. I like how Tom Thinnell, Smokey Hill, first time ever winning the wagon wheel. Vincent White gets a victory in week 1, and then Todd Casebeer at Castleview. So
Rod Sherman at Arapahoe.
Yeah, exactly.
Eddie McCaffrey at Valor Christian. Good for those guys. It's nice to see them get off to a good start.
Nice debuts for those first-year head coaches at their new programs. So if we look at the top 10, nothing new, right?
No, it's hard to tell after just 1 week. I mean, the penalties were all over the place. More flags than at a UN convention, really. They were just all over the place, laundry everywhere. But that is to be expected. That's how it is in high school football in week 1, universally, too.
You can't stop the top 3. I mean, those are solid and really they're inarguable. You look at Creek, they're so powerful after the Doherty win. Pomona, Columbine, I mean, they're just strong, right? And then you move on down, Valor, Grandview, Eagle Crest. Who we added to the top 10 this week is Arvada West, and I think that's justified.
Yeah, and I think they're coming back a little bit. I mean, for years they felt the sting of losing so much enrollment and talent to Ralston Valley. That, such is life in Colorado high school football. You get going, might have another school or 2 or 3 in the area. They take your kids. That's the way it works out. But I mean, I think Brad Pyatt, former player, former Indianapolis Colt, is doing a good job. It's taking him a little bit of time. I think they're on their way, for sure.
Yeah, you think of Brad Pyatt, he's invested, he's an alum of the program, he's got NFL pedigree, and then they've got the wrestlers, who always seem to show up, plus some skills players. So congrats to A West getting in our top 10 for week 2. Now, you mentioned Ralston Valley, a monster win over Mountain Vista with 51-0 victory over the Golden Eagles. They are one of the teams who are going to play squads from out of state, and that's a topic we need to discuss. That's
one of the many.
You see a lot of that, and that includes this week where we have Class 5A football teams from Colorado playing teams from beyond our borders.
Well, number one, it's monkey see, monkey do, of course, in high school football. One team does it, everybody has to do it. And number 2, let's face it, it's a lot of fun. This was pioneered by Tony Manfredi at Overland in Aurora, back into the 90s. I went to the first game. I think they played Barron Collier, too, as a matter of fact, where Dante Culpepper went to high school. But Tony started that. It's sort of like a bowl game trip for the kids. Mm-hmm. You get to play somebody else different. I mean, you're not stuck with the same old here, relatively speaking. And it's just nice to go bond as a team and go see other things and try to measure yourself a little bit. It's a good deal all the way around.
I like that Neil Devlin slips in a Tony Manfredi reference. That's nice.
The Godfather.
Yes.
Big school football, make no mistake.
Appreciate that. You look at this week, Columbine, Ralston Valley, Fairview, they're going to be playing in Florida. Cherry Creek plays in California against that Santa Margarita team. Legacy is hosting that Bothell team from Washington. Isn't that who Mullen played?
Mullen played up there a year ago, up near above Seattle.
Right. How about in-state? As far as week 2 matchups within Colorado, I mean, a couple that pop out in my head. Thunder Ridge at Lakewood, I think that's possibly going to be a good matchup.
Well, a couple of teams have a chance to do something within the class and within their league once league play starts, I think, for sure.
Number 6, Eagle Crest. What they did here on Fox 31 High School Game Day in week 1 was very impressive. Now, they're going to play Fountain Fort Carson. And Andy Lowry will tell you, he's got them next week. You got to respect the Trojans, so that'll be something to watch with Eagle Crest taking on FFC.
A military-based situation for the Trojans down there. They do a fantastic job. It's nomadic in a way. You never know who's going to be there and not be there because of the military thing and everything like that, but they play really hard. And let's face it, when you play Eagle Crest, you're going to have to deal with their offensive line, which is considerable. I mean, a lot of people run behind those guys. They're very good.
How about individuals, players that really caught your attention after week 1's results?
I think you know these names. Fairview quarterback Aiden Atkinson threw for 404 yards and 5 touchdowns. And of course, the Cherry Creek quarterback Alex Padilla, arguably one of the most important players here. Threw 40 TDs last year, threw for 3 this week. He's off to a flying start, and I'm eager to see how he does against the California team.
I got a couple of names that caught my attention on our broadcast on Fox 31 High School Game Day last week. From Eagle Crest, Ty Robinson, the lengthy 6'3" wide receiver, and then for Highlands Ranch, Connor Lathrop, 6'4", 220. Those boys can play. You definitely want to keep an eye on them. And then Elijah Anderson Cooper, 230-pound linebacker, had himself a night for sure. That kid is D2 at minimum as far as what his next level plans are.
Have you noticed the receivers are getting taller and longer like they are on the upper levels? And they're very coordinated, they're very quick. They move around like 5'6" kids, but they're like 6'3".
Taller, longer, and also more physical too.
And faster.
Have to mention Fox 31 High School Game Day, very relevant. Boy, we got a great one, and boy, that fits. It's on your home turf these days. You've got number 9 Mullen hosting the Spartans from Doherty. That'll be on Fox 31 High School Game Day, 7 o'clock, coming up this Friday. That's just a great matchup. Springs coming up to De La Salle, and you got 2 top programs.
We should see more of that, because we're on the verge of losing the 5A element in multiple cities, including Colorado Springs, because a lot of these schools are designed to be 4A, and they don't want to play the so-called superpowers and stuff. I like the mix across the class and across the states. I think it's good for 5A football. Everybody gets to see everybody, and then we get to see what's going on. You get to measure yourself.
It reminds you of basketball March Madness, right? Where you get to see these odd matchups you're just not used to seeing. Well, here's one, and like you say, you know, when you think about it, in Colorado Class 5A, you've got Denver, and then there's like a couple sprinkled elsewhere.
Exactly. And Colorado Springs gets talent down there for sure, but I mean, there are so many schools down there. There are more than 24 schools down there, I think, for a population that at one time was only like 440, 450,000. They're more designed to go 4A and 3A. We only have like 4 schools left in 5A football, anyway, for Colorado Springs, which is a shame, because, I mean, we're on the verge of losing it in Fort Collins, maybe. We've already lost it in Pueblo, and, I mean, the Grand Junction situation as well. I mean, we should have representatives in big schools across the state.
Follow us on Twitter at GetPreppedCO, covering local Colorado high school football each and every week.
And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Neil Devlin, I'm Marty Cesario.